Before I start, I know that you see this One Eye Photography directed by One Eye Photography gear. I'm exclusively making a lot of this merch. I got t-shirts, I got hoodies. Look at that. On the back of the t-shirts, I have Welcome to the Vision. I don't know if you guys can see it. But yeah, I'm also making hats. It has my signature, has directed by One Eye Photography, and I'm branding them on New Era fitted, well, not fitted, but snapback hats. So definitely show support once I start putting in some pre-orders. It'd be greatly appreciated. I'm trying to make One Eye Photography more than just a business for hire. I'm trying to make it a lifestyle. So welcome to the vision. You know how it goes. Back again with another one. You know what it is. Today, I'm talking about the immaculate, the exclusive, the one and only Tokina Vista Vision Prime. Oh yeah. This this lens, this ninth wonder of the world changed the way I did filmmaking. It opened up doors that I never thought possible. And today, I'm gonna let you know why it is one of the most solid pieces and most expensive in my gear case. So let's get it started. Again, we're talking about the Vista Vision Primes today by Tokina. Incredible company. I'm actually one of their featured artists. I was humbled to say the least, to become part of their roster. It all started out when I had made an investment on the Tokina ATX 11 to 20 millimeter, which is a super wide angle lens. It's made for crop sensor cameras. Blah blah blah. I'm having trouble speaking today. It's made for crop sensor cameras, and it's one of those great tools where if you have it on a Komodo or if you have it on an aps-c, it really gives you a wide field of view, which I'll give you an example right here. This was one of those shots that ended up on Tokina's reel for this lens in specific. And if you guys don't know, like if you become part of a lens company's reel, it's like being endorsed by Nike. If you're like an athlete, it's one of those high pristine, at least that's the way I take it. It's one of those privileges that come far and few, and if you're recognized by an industry lens company that makes movies like Black Widow for Marvel and Fast and the Furious, like those are big names. These are big movies. These are blockbusters. And then for that same company to recognize you is pretty big. So Shout out to the team at Tokina USA, or Tokina Cinema USA. Shout out to Ryan Avery. He reached out to me a couple of times. He's a really, really nice guy. I believe he is the president or one of the CEOs over at Tokina. And, we started a communication maybe like 5 months ago. And I was just trying to represent all the work that I was capturing with the Vista Prime or the ATX. And, I asked, how can I become endorsed? And next thing I know, one night I'm, just chilling on my laptop. My girlfriend's next to me, and I'm on the website checking out lenses, see if any good deals are up there. And I see myself as a feature artist, and my mind was blown. Like, I was just like, wow, this is amazing. And I just felt, I felt honored. There's not like a lot of things that excite me normally. So it's like to have this situation happen where, again, I'm part of a company I believe in. Their tools truly make my art come to life. Again, it's like, feels like once in a lifetime, and I'm just very appreciative of that. So back to the focus, the Tokina Vista Prime. I have the 50 millimeter in specific. Look at that front element. It's in cinema we talk about T-stops instead of f-stops. So, T-stops, I'll put the definition up here. It basically measures light a little more accurately when it comes to cinematography. So this goes to a 1.5. It opens to 1.5. So you get like a crazy shallow depth of field on a lens like this. It is made for VistaVision sensors, which is fairly larger than full frame. And I think when you make an investment like this, it's all metal, all glass. It's one of those purchases that you got to be really, really serious about, because it's expensive. We're talking about $6 to $8 grand a lens, depending on the lens that you get. But when you see the difference between a photo lens, a low quality or more budget friendly cinema lens versus something like the Tokina VistaVision, it's unexplainable. It's like having the Aston Martin or Ferrari of like lenses. I mean, for sure, you have ARRI lenses out there that are like 40 grand a piece just to start, 43, like it's up there. But this lens, for the price, for the craftsmanship, for the quality that comes out of this bare bones, is phenomenal. I use the 50 because it's like a great focal length. I think it really encapsulates people's features beautifully. It's kind of like how we see the world, through our scope. It's just enough compression where that background comes in, or, where this lens coating just has enough softness, but it's also so sharp in a beautiful way. It's detailed. It's just blooming with beautiful features, and I can't express it enough how much this lens changed the way I work. I can have it fully open at 1.5, and yes, it's shallow, but the image it still gives me is mind-blowing. It's the only spherical lens, because I'm a big fan of anamorphic lenses. I love flares. I love a little bit of that grunginess, that cinematic appeal that people can't really put their finger on. So anamorphics are different. Like, you get an oval bokeh. Say you had a 50 millimeter anamorphic. The beauty about it is that you get a 50 millimeter compression depth of field, but you split that in half and you get a 25 millimeter field of view. And that's a little more technical if you're not understanding what I'm speaking about. For the people that do, they definitely understand that that's what makes a cinematic lens, you know what I'm saying? But for a spherical lens, they use these on, they use this lens on like HBO shows. They use it for movies, like I said, Black Widow, Fast and the Furious, and many, many more to mention. And to have a lens of this optical quality just puts you in a different tier when you know what to do with it. When you have a great sensor, I think I explained it in my last video, when you have a great sensor and then you put a great pair of glasses on it, it's like your camera sees the world in a whole different light and a whole different sense. And the Tokina Vista Vision, again, when you invest in it, say you get an 8K Vista Vision camera like the Red Raptor, this lens is still going to hold its value, if not give you more, because right now I'm shooting on the Red Komodo. It's a Super 35 sensor, but I also have a Canon speed booster on it that expands me closer to, a full frame field of view. And then when I put this bad boy on, I'm getting closer to the full frame. I'm getting closer to that Vista Vision look, and you get less, I would say, vignetting around the edges. So the light is the way that you're capturing your image is like you're getting more of a scope for your sensor, because it has more coverage of your sensor through the glass. And I use it on music videos. I shoot whole music videos with one lens, just kind of like how some directors might stick to one focal length for the whole movie to get one perspective. This lens literally can do it all. It has a 46.7 millimeter image circle. So I'll give you a little bit of context and example right here. It also has a beautiful internal focus design. When you use the feeling of how the gears move is just so smooth, so buttery, so man, it's a whole different feeling. If you drive in a Honda and then you drive in a Porsche, you're like, okay, I understand the price difference. And that's what the Tokina Vista Vision Prime lens set gives to you. They've added so many different focal lengths to this lineup over time. They have 18 millimeter, 21 millimeter, 25 millimeter, 29, which I'm really interested in, because 29 millimeter is that sweet spot where it's wide and it's interesting. It's very filmic. They have a 35 millimeter, a 65 millimeter, a 40 millimeter, 85, 105, another one that I'm really interested in, 135, and a brand new, very expensive 180 millimeter focal length, which is mind-blowing because of that compression that you get from it is, wow, it's crazy. Again, this is a full frame Vista Vision Super 35 millimeter sensor coverage of, like, it's an investment that's going to cover so many different types of sensors that you can only appreciate over time, especially when you buy lenses versus camera bodies. They hold their value over time. So whatever I bought this for, I probably maybe slap off $1,000 if I was to ever resell it, which I won't, but it's gonna hold its value over time way better than something like a camera body, you know what I'm saying? So they have it for EF mount, they have it for PL, they have it for plenty, like Sony E, Micro Four Thirds, LPL, like Leica mounts and stuff like that. So they're all interchangeable. You can either send them in or buy the backs. I wouldn't recommend basically switching them out on your own, but you can have that option in the future, just in case you get a PL mount or something. you're changing your standards. So whether you're renting these out or whatever, I think it is a great investment. I know it's up there. But again, I'm gonna give you multiple examples from where I used it on a music video and stuff like that. And then, like I said, this Vista didn't only, I used the ATX, and then I got onto that reel for Tokina, but then I got into their main reel for their Vista Primes as well in 2021. In the middle of the pandemic, like I was still pushing, with the clientele that, hired me, and we made so much great footage. And then I guess, like, there's always people watching. Like, you never know who's watching. And, Tokina recognized that work, and they asked me to send them footage of from the projects that I was using this on. And again, you can see the difference, even to the people with the untrained eye. I had a couple people like, yo, there's a difference between this shot and this shot. Did you use a different lens? And I was like, yeah, I did. And that's the Vista versus, that's a photo lens. And like there's just again a brilliance about it that can't be explained, because it has like a vintage softness, but it has a modern appeal. And that separation reminds me of the same beautiful separation you see in like Handmaid's Tales, or like, other movies. That this is the only spherical that for me gives me this filmic look that's not an anamorphic lens. And I really don't think you can beat that. It's exceptional. So yeah, like